So word on the streets right now is that a guy named HipHopGamer is out here talking like he's actually played GTA 6. And honestly, it's kind of tough to know whether he's telling the truth or not. But the way that he talks about it does make me feel like there's at least some legitimacy behind what he's saying. And since things have been a little bit dry lately, I figured this was a great time to actually go through everything that he claimed and kind of give you my honest thoughts about it. And I've seen a couple other creators, shout out to Drama versus the World, already covering this. So I figured I would throw my own 2 cents into this as well and just see what you guys think. So the first thing he said is that the gameplay feels completely different thanks to the AI, immersion, and the new interaction systems. And honestly, this feels like a given at this point because the last mainline GTA came out on the Xbox 360 and PS3. And we're talking almost 14 years now. Even Red Dead 2, which still felt like a massive leap forward, was a last-gen game that was built for the Xbox One and PS4. So GTA 6 is the first Rockstar game that's actually built from the ground up for current-gen hardware. So of course, this is going to feel like a completely different experience. This lines up with everything that we've already speculated based on the leaks and the patents over these years. Something more specific that he mentions is that stealing or entering or exiting vehicles and driving in general are all going to be way more elaborate than before. And this is actually really interesting to think about because carjacking has always been very simple in past GTA games. Essentially, you just run up and you pull somebody out and then you drive off. But think about the Florida setting. Everyone down here is extremely armed. So my theory is that if you try to pull somebody out of their car, there's a chance that they're going to have their gun pointed at you the moment that you approach. And they're going to force you to make an actual decision in that moment instead of it just being an automatic animation. There were also patents describing things like working the gear shift, checking mirrors, adjusting seat height, and even an animation system that reacts if another car hits you mid-carjack, which is kind of cool. So this really tracks with what has already been talked about. He also confirmed that Jason and Lucia will be able to carry out activities together during gameplay, which lines up almost exactly what we already have heard from the game roll leaks, where you'll be able to pretty much play either character solo or have them together and switch back and forth depending on the situation. So this one's already not like new information, but it's nice to see that it's being reaffirmed from a separate source. This next one is also really cool because it's something that I've talked about a lot in the past, and that's how reactive the world is going to feel, especially to the player. And I think that what he's really describing is that the world will feel constantly alive, where you're going to see NPCs doing wild, unpredictable things or random live stream moments that are happening in the background. It's going to give you the sense that something is always going on regardless of whether you're directly involved in it or not. And if that holds up to be true, this could genuinely be the most alive open world we have ever experienced. He also mentions that the controls and responsiveness were specifically designed with competitive esports in mind. And when I heard that, my mind immediately jumped to Call of Duty. And I've said this on stream before, but I really think that Rockstar is aiming for the gameplay that feels very tactical the way that Call of Duty does. And by that I mean like having quick movement and sliding and rolling around and having fluid combat that feels responsive and snappy rather than clunky and slow. And if that's accurate, the movement in GTA 6 could feel significantly more dynamic than anything we've seen from this franchise before. And I'm really excited about that. Though I'll admit, I'm a little cautious too because I don't want this game turning into some hyper-competitive try-hard environment either. But let me know down in the comments what you think about that one specifically. He also confirmed that Rockstar and Take-Two hold patents that are directly tied to a lot of the technology inside of GTA 6, which is a big deal because up until now, the biggest question with these patents was always whether they would actually make it into the game or they're just unused. So having someone independently confirm that these systems are actually being utilized adds real weight to everything that we've been speculating about this game for the last couple of years. And this next point could honestly be an entire video all on its own, but he mentioned that the underlying technology was also developed with applications for TV and film in mind. And I think that this directly connects to why they chose Netflix for the extended reveal. And I think that GTA 6 is being built as a platform, one that is going to host branded content and celebrity tie-ins and advertising real events, or maybe even actual real media partnerships happening inside of the game world itself for years to come. Hearing him basically confirm this direction makes me believe in that theory even more. He also claimed that user-generated content is going to allow players to build entire campaigns and stories that could end up being bigger than what we saw with the Sinners campaign inside of Fortnite, which is really wild to think about. But honestly, I've believed this for a while now. I think that UGC is eventually going to become bigger than the base game itself. And I don't mean just roleplay servers either. I mean, people are going to be building entire standalone games inside of GTA 6's engine, using it essentially as one of the most powerful creation tools ever handed to the public. And I have my own ideas for what I want to build with that eventually. And I think that this is honestly one of the most underrated aspects of this entire game that people are not talking about enough. He also said that this UGC ecosystem is going to make millionaires, and honestly, I think that tracks. You know, if people are building entire playable experiences inside of GTA 6 that other players can access and enjoy, there's a very real path for creators to build sustainable income from that kind of way, just the same way that they've done with Roblox or Fortnite, except with far more powerful and detailed engines and physics behind it. And lastly, he mentioned some kind of deep integration with the PS5 DualSense controller and PS5 Pro hardware, comparing it in some ways to that of Astrobot and what it did with controller features. But I've personally never played Astrobot, so if any of you have, let me know in the comments what that comparison might actually mean in practice. He definitely put emphasis on PlayStation specifically, which I'm not super thrilled about, you know, since I'm going to be playing on Xbox and PlayStation, but it is what it is. I am curious about what kind of tangible benefits PlayStation players might actually have here beyond just some fancy controller haptics. So that pretty much covers everything in this HipHopGamer situation. This whole thing was actually based on an interview recorded back in July, so it's kind of funny that it's only now blowing up. But with things being pretty quiet, otherwise, I figured it was worth breaking down since there, was some genuinely interesting information in here. So let me know in the comments what you think about all of this and which points stood out to you the most. And if you enjoyed this, please consider liking the video and subscribing. I also live stream every night, 12:30 Eastern time. Well, actually, I live stream different times now, so I need to change that. But yeah, I live stream if you guys want to come and hang out. We're playing San Andreas right now if you want to talk about GTA 6 in the stream. We also have a Discord that's linked in the description if you want a great community to be a part of. And I also have an affordable workout program that's linked in the description too if you want to get healthy, before GTA 6 comes out. But yeah, anyways, as I always say, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in Vice City.